What's up? It's your boy Carcino here, and let's talk about it. Phil Jackson, the legendary coach, won 6 NBA championships. Quicker than anybody in history. Then he won another 3. No, won another 5 with the Lakers. Got 11 NBA championships as a coach. 11. That's impressive. But let's talk about something you didn't know. Tried to explain it to you and the truth behind the Jerry Krause, Phil Jackson beef. But many of you did not get the full gist of what was happening. You didn't get an understanding as to what was going on. You guys did not get it. Hopefully you get it and understand it now. Phil Jackson is responsible, not the organization. They decided to break it up by saying Phil won't be back the next year. That's insane. Phil Jackson wasn't gonna come back at all. His contract expired in 97. When they won the 5th championship, that was it for Phil Jackson's contract. The reason why is because he saw what Pat Riley got when Pat Riley went to coach the Knicks. Pat Riley left and went to the New York Knicks and coached them, and they never won a championship. They went to the NBA Finals against the Houston Rockets, and that was as close as they got under Riley. Riley then went to the Miami Heat, where he had full control. When he was in New York, Pat Riley had say with James Dolan and the general manager over personnel. Who could come on the team, who couldn't. They had a paired personality situation. Once he left, they tried to renege on his deal. So he went to the Miami Heat, where he had total autonomy. He was basically general manager and coach when he went to the Miami Heat. Phil Jackson saw that and said, wow, that's what I need. I need that. I want control over personnel. which is Jerry Krause's job. Phil was trying to undermine Jerry and wanted to go over his head and be GM and coach, and tried to use Michael Jordan to lobby it. Michael Jordan is doing interviews saying, yeah, Phil would be a great general manager and coach, while Jerry Krause is still the general manager. So how do you think Jerry is going to follow this? How is Jerry Krause going to feel when someone is using their top player to try to go at them when Jerry's the guy that brought you here? You were in Puerto Rico coaching a Puerto Rican basketball team. You couldn't get a job in the NBA at all. Jerry Krause is the only guy that hired you and made you an assistant coach. He got rid of Doug and made you the head coach. And you repay him by trying to go over his head and try to lobby for his job. Because if you want personnel control, you was like, I just want to know who's coming on the team, and I want to have some say on personnel. That's Jerry's job. He wanted because he saw he saw Pat Riley get it, and he wants to know why he don't have it. Pat Riley can demand that. Why I can't? I've got 5 NBA championships now. I could demand that. I can get the Pat Riley deal. Pat Riley he's got control over personnel, and he's always getting good players. Why I can't get good players? I got to get Judd Buechler and Joe Kleins. And Judd Buechler could play. I mean, the Bulls was picking up guys that were productive. But at the end of the game, it's going to come down to Mike. It's always going to come down to Jordan. But Phil is the reason. So when he came back, and he wasn't going to come back that year. Jerry didn't want him back. Jerry's like, screw you. Then Jordan said he's only playing if Phil is the coach. And that's why they brought him back for the final year. Reinsdorf didn't want to lose that money. He saw the revenue Michael was bringing in. He wouldn't have been a good personnel for the Bulls. Did you see him as general manager for the New York Knicks? Did you see what he did for the Knicks? Phil is not a general manager. Okay, some guys are. Phil is an X and O's guy. He's always been, but he's not a judge of personnel. He's shown you that. The Zen Master, all that crap. He can get guys to play for him. He's just a wizard. Yeah, he knows the X and O's. He's not a personnel guy. But he fooled everyone into believing that he is. And that he can just spread his wisdom and it is going to work. He hired Derek Fisher to be his tool, just like Pat Riley did. That's why he went to the Knicks and tried to do what Pat Riley did. Pat Riley was in the front office, but he made sure Eric Exposa was going to run all the plays that he ran. Stan Van Gundy wasn't going to listen to him anymore. He wanted to be his own man, so Stan got bounced. So he put the film guy in there and said, okay, you're going to do what I tell you to do. You're going to coach it the way I want you to coach it. I don't feel like standing on the sideline. I'm going to sit down in the stands, but you're going to coach it the way I want you to coach it. So that's what he did. Derek Fisher was coaching his way. It didn't work for Phil. Derek Fisher is out there banging players' wives and all this other stuff, and they can't win because he's got them trying to run the doggone triangle offense. He's got Derek Fisher trying to teach them to run the triangle offense, and they're like, look, we don't want to run that crap. That stuff's not working. You got to have the right personnel to run these type of plays. If you don't have the right personnel, it is not going to work. Kobe knows X and O's. So it'll work with someone like Kobe. Melo is not an X and O guy. Carmelo Anthony's not an X and O dude. The rest of those guys, they're different. And they're like, look, we don't come from all this structure. So it failed. He failed in New York. He showed you exactly what would happen had he been the general manager of the Chicago Bulls. Jerry Krause made the decisions that everybody hated, but they worked for the team. Michael Jordan cried like a baby and threatened and yelled at Jerry Krause when he traded Bill Cartwright for Oakley. But it was the right decision. It was the right decision. He should have been gone. He had no business being there. He did the right thing. That was the right choice. That's the only good thing. He brought Horace Grant and Scottie Pippen over to the Chicago Bulls. He made a trade with the Seattle Supersonics to get Scottie Pippen. He saw the potential in Scottie. Nobody was checking out for Scottie. Horace Grant, Scottie Pippen. He traded and brought over Steve Kerr. Everybody Michael Jordan wanted, he said no. Jordan was mad. Those guys were busts. Those guys turned out to be a bust. Rod wanted to bring Rod Higgins back on the team. He couldn't get him. Jordan was mad. He couldn't get none of his players on the team. But Jerry's the bad guy. He's the one that put Phil in at head coach, but he's the bad guy. Jerry Krause went and got Dennis Rodman, but he's the bad guy. JR, you must have just got here. Phil tried to go over his head and take the man's job. He tried to go over his head and get more power and have what he wanted, final say on personnel. He got arrogant. Once he started winning, Phil started getting more arrogant. He started doing TV, writing books, and started to become real arrogant with all of his appearances and started wanting power. He wanted to know about personnel. He wanted final say on personnel. Why would you want all that? When Jerry's been giving you personnel, you're winning championships. So he's giving you the horses to win it. Why would you question his lead now? Phil wanted power. He wanted to be the general manager. He used Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan went in the interview and started talking about Jerry Krause, talking about every other interview. He's talking about how Phil could be a great general manager and head coach. Because he knows if Michael want a player, Phil's going to go get him. That's not going to happen with Jerry. So Jordan's going to lobby for Phil. So they're basically trying to get Jerry Krause fired. So if you Jerry Krause, that's why Reinsdorf went out there to try to get him back. Krause didn't want him back. Not even for that year. Jordan told Reinsdorf, look, if Phil ain't coming back, I'm not coming back for this season. So Mike would have walked. He wouldn't have played the last year. He was very adamant on retiring. So Reinsdorf flew all the way out to Montana and got a deal done with Phil and said, look, I'll get this deal done for you for this 1-year deal. Paid him $6 million, brought him back. They went over Krause's head. Krause was so upset that Reinsdorf went and brought back Phil Jackson. He was livid. So he called Phil in there and said, I don't care if you go 82-0. This is your last year. You are out of here, buddy. You tried to snake the man out of his job. And then it didn't work. Reinsdorf didn't go for it. And now here you are. Why don't you see that Phil Jackson is the guy that broke up the Bulls dynasty? Because he did. Once he pulled that move, there was nowhere he could go. He was in a catch-22 because he's out after this year. The Bulls ain't bringing him back, and he's not coming back. He's writing a book. He's already got problems going on with his wife because he's been cheating on his wife. He's been cheating on his wife with Jenny Buss, the Lakers owner. Jerry Buss's daughter. Dr. Buss's daughter, Jenny. He was sleeping with her while he was a married man. He was a no good, dirty bastard. So he was already not coming back. Phil was leaving, and he's making it as if Jerry Krause was forcing him out. No, you weren't going to get ownership. You weren't going to get the general manager spot, so you really weren't coming back. No way you were coming back another season if they had offered you money, which they did. They offered him another deal to come back. Phil was like, no, he's not coming back. And let's talk about the Scottie Pippen deal. Scottie Pippen was going to get traded during the draft. During the NBA draft, they were going to trade Scottie Pippen. Isaiah Lloyd Thomas III drafted Tracy McGrady. The Chicago Bulls wanted to do a trade with Isaiah Thomas. Jerry Krause called Isaiah Thomas and said he was interested in Tracy McGrady. He was really interested in McGrady and was going to have Scottie Pippen in a Toronto Raptors uniform under the leadership of Isaiah Lloyd Thomas III. Oh, yeah. Scotty was going to work for Zeke. Y'all didn't know that, did you? Y'all didn't know that, did you? See, the Toronto mayor and the mayor of Chicago met down with Isaiah Thomas. He set him down when he was general manager of the Toronto Raptors. They were a new team. They had Damon Stoudemire, and he was one of the best players in the league. They beat the Chicago Bulls in 96. In 96, when the Bulls went there, Jerry Krause met with Isaiah Thomas. They had the mayor. They set it up, and Toronto was voted the sister city of Chicago. Yeah, you didn't know all this went down. Oh, Tennessee Williams said he knew. He said, "Oh, y'all know it because you got it from Tracy McGrady." Buddy, I'm finna tell you something that Tracy McGrady didn't even say. Michael Jordan blew up the deal. Michael Jordan found out Scottie Pippen was getting traded in 97, and he put a kibosh to it and said, if you trade Scottie Pippen, I am leaving. My contention of coming back was that Scottie Pippen was not to be traded. Do not trade Scottie Pippen for a new rookie that I got to try to learn who he is and what's going on. Scottie, they nicked that deal. They had a deal on the table, Scottie Pippen for Shawn Kemp. The Seattle Supersonics was sending over Shawn Kemp and another player. Michael Jordan had just beaten Shawn Kemp and the Seattle Supersonics with Gary Payton, and they had a chance, Michael Jordan had a chance to play with Shawn Kemp instead of Scottie Pippen. And he said no. Jordan turned that down, said no, I want Scottie. The Rain Man was coming because Pippen was originally drafted by the Seattle Supersonics. When he first came in the league, they drafted him and traded him to the Bulls. So he was going back to Seattle. They had worked the deal out. Michael Jordan shot that deal down. They wanted Scottie and they shut it all down. Now, here's what Tracy McGrady didn't tell you. The guy who said I got it from Tracy McGrady. When Tracy McGrady, and after the season was over, Tracy McGrady was a free agent. Guess who called him? Guess who had a contract for Tracy McGrady? Guess when Michael Jordan's gone. Mike's gone. Everybody's gone. Pippen's gone. Everybody that left the team. And they're building the future for the Chicago Bulls. They chose Tracy McGrady. He was leaving Toronto. And he was a free agent. And they had a deal. He agreed to the deal. He was going to be a Chicago Bull. Now, did T-Mac tell you that? No, he did not. He agreed in principle to be a Chicago Bull with Jerry Krause for no trade as a free agent. They had a contract. They had an agreement. And you know what happened? He blew it up at the last minute, and he went and signed a contract with the Orlando Magic. Out of the blue. He was in Orlando. They got in over the Bulls. And do you want to know why that happened? That happened, and many other times the Bulls tried to get somebody, they would pull away. Anytime the Bulls had somebody they were coming, they were pulling away. Do you want to know why this happened? Oh, you said Jerry said it back in 2000? Well, that's good. Because here in Chicago, we knew all about it. Do you want to know why this happened? This happened because Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan, were all telling people about the Bulls, mainly Scottie, talking about the organization and why they wouldn't pay Michael. And look what they did. Scottie is running his mouth. Horace Grant's been running his mouth. They have been telling people about the Bulls organization and how screwed up it is. I told you they was a terrible organization. Look what they did to the White Sox. Terrible, same owner, terrible organization. Why the hell would I root for them bums? Of course they were ran like the Knicks. The only thing is they were winning. And the Bulls don't care about winning championships. They don't. They're not in the winning championship business. Reinsdorf is in the revenue business, making money business. Scottie Pippen got the worst deal? No, it wasn't. It was a great deal when he signed it. Scottie Pippen had back surgery. What? See, that's what I'm saying. These documentaries, they really don't do you young people justice. That's why I say you guys gotta listen to me in my videos, because you guys would be lost, lost in the dust. I've covered all of this before, but I guess I gotta do it again. Scottie Pippen made $2 million in 1998. Do you know why he made $2 million? Because he signed a contract. He signed a 7-year deal because Scottie Pippen had a back surgery when he was young. He had a major back surgery, and he wanted to make sure he was secure. So he signed a 7-year deal for $18 million. And he thought, okay, we win the championships, the value is going up. So the actual player that's coming through the door is making more than Scottie Pippen. He was the 6th paid player on the team. Luke Longley, everybody's making more than him coming through the door. That's his fault. He signed the contract. That's what he wanted. He wanted that long year security. That's fine. When your 7 years is up, come holler at me. His 7 years was up. He got $30-some million from Houston. Stole money from them. He wasn't no more any good. He wasn't good anymore. He was broken up. He was done. So he got his $30 million from Houston. He went to Portland, played there for what, 2-3 years or whatever, stole money from them. And the Bulls brought him back so he could retire as a Bull. He was just done. He had been done for years. Don't forget you can donate to the page. Hit my Cash App up. Carcino the name. You already know what it is? Don't forget to check out the Patreon. We got some very interesting things that finna pop up over there. That's the Casino for Life Patreon.